All right, we say that your app catalog is ready now. Click that URL. Below, yeah. Wow. Now look at that, what all option it is going to give you. Do you want to upload an app for a SharePoint? Click that one. App for a SharePoint. So it means that when I as an administrator, I want that for my certain user, my app is already developed by my developer and I want to use that app. So what is going to give you? Upload where your app. So if your developer give you this app, then it's easy for you, it's easy for you to manage that application for you. Or you can develop an app for you in a app catalog. It is out of the box, nothing you have to do extra. Let me to see if I have a process document for you. SharePoint. Just give me a time. It's not that one. Yeah, I think this is one which I want. Now, this is a document which is basically not for you, half of the document for a development team, how they can develop an app in a SharePoint. Custom app in a SharePoint. I'm only take you to the walkthrough, then I share this document. Maybe you can use if in a future, if you get a chance. So first of all, these all are the tool. For example, for a SharePoint, there is a specific tool which need to download It's called Yoman and a Gulp. This is a tool which is available for you to download. Once you download the tool, your developer will write a code, and once the code has been written, I given everything step by step. How you, even if you want to try yourself, you can do that. But since it is not the objective of this training specifically, but this is just an example that how you can create a very small application using all this tool and all. And now this is what exactly we did. Look at that, what we did. We install this app management service, right? And once this app management service is installed, I have given that one. So I have given the name, and then we install this app management service. Now this is your task because you are SharePoint administrator. So you have to first create an app management service. Once you've done that, then you have to also configure your SharePoint server farm. SharePoint server farm where you can configure your application. So once you've done that, then this is a process I have given, how exactly you're going to configure. So this state service, you remember, I have this application already installed in my SharePoint, this state service application that I have already installed. And then there are certain other services which need to be installed. And once we done that, my SharePoint is already all done. Then I'm going to create an app catalog, which you just created. Then we create an app catalog. And once the app catalog created, I can, this is my app catalog, the same screen where we are in at this point of time, same screen after the app catalog. Now what will happen after the app catalog? Because your developer already developed the app. Then now you have this screen, and this is the app is called Hello World, which we created. Now this Hello World app is available for me to display. So I'm going to send this manual to you, Monique. You may not require it today, but not sure in future. If someone ask you that, can you help deploy this application on my SharePoint, how will you do that? I'm going to send this one, send item. This is the email ID. All right. I'm also going to give you one which we are going to do today itself. These all command in the mail. All right. Check your email, confirm if you get that.
It'll take a while.
India to America, going via internet. But there is so many things in SharePoint, no?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a fully custom. You can go beyond. So which version of SharePoint in your office, Vanikyu? 2016 or 2019?
2013. I think it's 2013.
13. Okay. Oh. Maybe in the future you have to upgrade it, right?
Mm.
Because the current version is 2019. All right. So I mean to say, once I have my application, I can I can deploy this application or install this application in my SharePoint. So it's not necessary that we are going to use only the application which is provided by the SharePoint. We can also use application which is out of the SharePoint. We can buy, we can purchase, or we can develop. So if you as an organization, if you have a development team, the better idea, go and develop an application, or we can purchase that application. So when I try to summarize this whole part, what exactly I mean to. First, we are talking about the application management in SharePoint. So what this application management say that there are few apps which is available for everyone in a SharePoint, which we can define at SharePoint level. Then when we create a site collection, at the site collection level also, we can define which application is available for this specific site collection. Means not every application is available for every site collection. We can control which application is meant for this a specific site. And as an administrator of SharePoint, you also have to define how this application going to be work in SharePoint itself. Right? It means that your application, whatever the application you are going to define and design, you can design at multi-level where this application exactly require. If a specific site do not need an application, there is no point to give application to that a specific site. Right? Because every application might have some sensitive information. For example, task list. Why should all my site member are going to use the site list? So it means that when we work on a app level, we can also define what exactly my application is going to require, and whether this application exactly required by the user or it's not required, right? So you have something which is called as a site app permission. Now in the site app permission, you can define that which particular app require a permission from you. So the very first thing which you have to define that which app and at which level we are going to make this app available. Now below the site collection, again, you can define that how this specific app is going to be used by site A, site B, and a site C. Now, this app management, you can also define how this app is going to be available to the user. Default app or a custom app. Default app means the app which is by default available in Microsoft SharePoint. For example, you have an app like Task, Image Gallery, Image Gallery, Images, and so on, so on, so on. These all are default app. But there are certain app which is not default, which is not a part of SharePoint, that we can call a custom app. Custom app, again you have a two choice. One, you want to deploy as an app or as a script. So you can go ahead and use a script, and you have an option to use an app. So when we talked about a script, again you have a two further method. One is called embed, one is called web part script editor. So here also you have a two option. Use embed, which only accept HTML code, and then you have something which is called web part script editor. Now script editor going to accept the JavaScript code as well. So we have to define that whether embed will work or whether script editor is quite enough for us. And then when we talked about, no, I do not need an script. Script means code is visible to you, how this script has been written. If you do not want your code to be visible, then you have an option that you can make this a specific app as an app, not as a script. So what I can say, I have an option that I am going to give you an app as an app, and here again you have a two option. Use a marketplace app, which is an app store, or you can create your own app. Now, this is how the whole things going to work when we talked about my app management. We have to define whether we need default app. Most of the time default app is okay for doing something which is very general, but sometimes we also require a custom app. For example, weather forecast, default app is not there. I want a clock, default is not there. I want to manage my admin task, default app, no such tool is available. So for that we again have an option. Does we go for a script or we go for an app? If we go for an script, again we have to define, does my script is a small script, just it is a type of an API, or does this script is a script editor? For example, one of the customers said that I want to integrate payment gateway. Totally new thing for me. Means PayPal, credit card. SharePoint does not give me anything. So what I did now, I go to paypal.com site. I go to PayPal and I want to add a widget. So what I want? PayPal widget. Just I go to Google and say that PayPal YZ for website. Now, this particular site is going to give me a PayPal own budget, which I go and integrate in my SharePoint. So let's say for an example, I can define that this is something which I buy. I need this one. Like just go and this is a button which I look for. So I'm going to say copy code. Now the code has been copied. And how the code will look like? When I go there and paste the code, this is very simple script code for me. What I does, I simply go use the script editor, and I'm going to punch this code. I'm going to get a PayPal button in my SharePoint site. Same button. So sometimes customer demand, I want this feature. No, I want this feature. So you as an administrator, you have to find out the ways that how it can be easily achieved. Most of the time, when you have a development team, things will be more easy for you because most of the development team aware about all these features, how they can pull out the code for most of the thing. But many times it also I see that in a smaller organization, when you do not have a separate dedicated development team, then you as an admin, you only have to find out the ways to provide all these features. So I find out the ways, I copy the code and go and use in my script editor. And I got a PayPal button in my SharePoint. Correct, huh? So it means that these are the some of the tips which we have to follow to perform our duty, our task as a SharePoint admin or SharePoint consultant or designer to make my SharePoint site more meaningful, exactly to the expectation of the customer. How customer want or how customer want to look that one. So these all are the ways which you have to think for when we are thinking about an app management. So when I go to my central administration site and when I go to my own home page, central admin, here I get a general configuration setting. General application means application which is by default a part of SharePoint or integrated with SharePoint. So it means that when we talked about my app to be managed, app which is used by my team to this application, we can go and grant all these permissions to my team member to access this app. So app build the SharePoint. This is a very simple meaning for us. App build the SharePoint and SharePoint build the app. Both is vice versa. Now this is what we did so far. We have seen certain feature which is available in a SharePoint. And what we did as a project, in this project, we have implemented a top site with rights where On top side, one user has a right. On a below side, second user have a right. Then we also need add a page. And then on a DMS, we have enabled a feature like versioning, content approval, and a search feature. So this is all what we did so far in my SharePoint. Now, one very specific thing which you can or sometimes you have to do as a SharePoint admin, you need to work on SharePoint using command prompt, because command prompt give you the way to just hit one single line and you can perform 10 things. Because in a SharePoint, when you go bizarre, next, chances that you may make certain mistake. Some feature you might be not click correctly. Then it's a problem. Then it's a problem. So let's now try understand if I have to work on SharePoint as a administrator using command prompt or a power cell, or we can also call it SharePoint cell. So when I go back to my SharePoint, when I click on a start button, I'm going to get SharePoint central administration site, but it is also going to give me SharePoint 2016 management cell. Now, when you click that, it is going to open a command prompt, and use this command prompt, you can manage your SharePoint as a completely. You understand little bit of PowerShell or shell script, Monique?
I don't think I'll ever use this.
Never used it? All
I
right.
won't. I don't think I will be using it.
Okay. Wonderful now. So let me make it little bit more fancy for you. Oh, all right now. Maybe not today, but tomorrow. Not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Not this year, next year. You have to use SharePoint command line, because certain tasks in a SharePoint you can only do with command line. That is also a problem. So when you go into a very advanced level of administration, especially when you are doing a troubleshooting, and when you try to go inside a specific service, your portal is not going to does not have any feature. You say that only you can do that kind of a management using command cell, using command prompt. So when I try to use a SharePoint, one way is that use a command prompt. Now here I have given you certain command. Let me to close this one. Now this command is going to give you lot of things which we can check. For example, I want to get the list of all my site collection which is running in a SharePoint. So what I can do, I can get a command called get and then what exactly you are looking for. So one of the magical thing about any scripting language, especially Microsoft command language or command prompt, it is work on a very simple principle which is called verb plus noun. Verb means list, get,